Hi folks, this is Danny from Leisure Travel Van Enthusiast, and I will try to show you what is my best solution for connecting while being on the road. I don't need to remind you that staying connected is somewhat a challenge, and we have two different ways to reach the internet. We have the short-range Wi-Fi like you have at home and on a campground, and we also have the internet provided by your cellular carrier, Verizon, AT&T, and alike. At first, I've tried to buy stuff from the internet to save some money and do my own amplification, and those solutions like the little Wi-Fi amplifier here and the external antenna for my jetpack has been a little bit disappointing, to say the least. I was looking for a better solution, and rapidly the complexity became evident as different provider frequency require different antenna, signal to noise ratio, ground plane, and stuff like that. I wasn't on the path of reinventing the wheel. So I checked the internet and reached Sherry and Chris. They are a great deal of source for information about all that stuff. And I decided to bite the bullet and just purchase what seems to be the easiest way from A to B. Another great source of information is the RV Geeks channel on YouTube. With that help, all of a sudden everything went from kinda hard to very easy. So online shopping I went. Last fall I proceeded to testing those antenna before installing them permanently on the roof. First, let's talk about cellular amplification. I went with the Weeboost 4GX, and the 4GX have three different kind of external antenna to choose from. The little 4-inch, the OTR made especially for trucker, and the new RV antenna. I think the OTR is the most powerful one, and one of those antenna is simply connected to an amplifier, and we have three kind of internal antenna. The little candy bar provide the least range. We have to almost be in close contact with it for amplification. We have the new RV that provides some sort of coverage, inside coverage, and the bigger one, the white one, is kind of made for bigger RV. This is what you get, the box containing the amplifier, just three part. An external amplifier, internal, and that the OTR antenna for truck driver, and a little more range, I think. For the second part of our needs, let's talk about Wi-Fi amplification. I went with the well-regarded Wi-Fi Ranger Elite, and this is very easy to understand. It's just an external antenna that connect to an internal router, and this router is just like yours at home. You can connect through it via Wi-Fi or with Ethernet cable. For a much better experience, you can also connect your jetpack directly on the side of the router. This is what you get with the Wi-Fi Ranger Elite. You have choice of 110 or 12 volt, and this is the go-to router. My system is a little bit different than most because I added something special. We have to understand that all those antenna are omnidirectional, so they can see and capture a signal from 360 degree, and I decided to add a directional antenna for added reach. This Wi-Fi directional antenna is certainly not required, but I kinda like it. It has been useful on maybe 3 or 4 occasions to reach an access point too far away, but the convenience of the Wi-Fi Ranger Elite won me over almost all the time. Let's talk about installation. In retrospect, I think it's much simpler to go seek a RV dealer to make the install, because they are used to it and I am not. But I like the challenge, so let's see what I've done. Keep in mind that most installations only need two antennas, one for the Wii Boost and one for the Wi-Fi Ranger Elite. So the provided 4-inch antenna for the Wii Boost have to be installed on a sheet of metal called a ground plane, just a piece of metal. I use duct for my ground plane because it's galvanized. The installation is self-explanatory. I've cleaned a part of the roof, then apply a little bit of adhesive there, then place the sheet of metal and run a bit of die-core around it. I have placed 2 bricks overnight. This is the finished product. For my 3 other antennas, I had to come up with a solution that will fit the need of a directional antenna, and also I've tried to keep a low profile while driving on the road. Different folks installed their antenna whatever they want, and it's fine. First we will see the OTR, the trucker antenna. I use the batwing antenna and I remove one leg because I don't need it. I cut a little pressure treated lumber and to reinforce the tip of the mount, and I drill it and install the bracket supporting the OTR antenna, and I use the provided hardware, and we have the OTR installed. The second antenna is for the Wi-Fi Ranger Elite. You certainly can use a batwing antenna, but if you don't have one or you don't plan to add one, you can certainly use the ladder, or there's another method that rely on a different kind of Wi-Fi antenna that is made for a flat installation, like this one. The third and last antenna is the directional one, weigh almost nothing and just being secure using the provided tie wrap. Now we do a little cable management. I'm gonna use some tie wraps made by Thomas and Betts or the other company that I don't remember, but those tie wraps are UV resistant and very sticky. I'm gonna use a little bit of Etanabond too, but not that much. I don't like things that I cannot remove. Now it's time to choose a place to enter the coach. Many folks use the vent cover, just drilling on its side and putting a little die core there. But you have to also keep in mind that you have to make a good separation between the external antenna and the interior antenna to avoid generating feedback. It's called oscillation. Choose the best point of entry according to the floor plan of your coach. It's now the fun time of drilling your roof. It's not that complicated. I have purchased a plastic cover to go over the cable. Make sure that those cable will fit under the cover, and I use a stud finder to locate aluminum studs, and it's fun to know how exactly the roof is made, and it's very thin fiberglass over wood, so I just use a hole saw and then take a screwdriver to poke around, then a fish to go through the roof, and I place the cover and begin to die core everything up. Just a little bit of Etanabond to make sure everything stay put. This is my final setup. 3 antenna mounted on the TV riser, and I have the little stumpy antenna for the Wii Boost at the front. We don't see it because it's too short. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that setup because it covers about all possible scenario moving forward. But to tell you the truth, the little 4-inch WeBoost antenna and the Wi-Fi Elite Ranger covers about 95% of my needs. But I have to brag about my directional antenna because I have been able to reach a very distant access point while nobody was able to do it. This is just an example of what we can expect if I use the jetpack alone, and then I use the jetpack with the 4-inch antenna, then the big OTR. It's about the same for the Wi-Fi. Having an antenna up on the rooftop make a huge difference compared to just having your laptop on your desk. This is some picture where other people place their antenna. I want to thank LTV for their help, WeBoost and Wi-Fi Ranger for their support, and those guys on the internet like the RV Geeks and Love Your RV and RV with Tito and everyone there. I just love what you are doing for the whole community. This video has been, done almost in one draft, so let me know your interrogation and what's missing here and there, so I can improve and maybe upload a better version soon. Thank you very much, folks, and thank you for being part of our Facebook group.